The night in Saint Petersburg was supposed to be ceremonial. Under the cold lights of the SK arena, everything pointed toward inevitability. Bakhodir Jalolov walked to the ring carrying not just his frame, but his legacy: 2 Olympic gold medals, years of amateur domination, and a professional record still untouched by defeat. He didn't enter like a challenger. He entered like a man returning to claim territory he already owned. At 6'7", southpaw, long-limbed and calm, Jalolov had become something heavier than a fighter in the minds of boxing fans. He was an idea. The idea that some boxers are built too well to be uncomfortable. Across the ring stood Vitaly Kadukov, a veteran with no illusion of grandeur. 36 years old, scarred by rounds instead of accolades, Kadukov's presence barely registered on the hype scale. He wasn't here to win a beauty contest or add shine to his resume. He was here because he knew exactly what this fight was: an opportunity to see if Olympic greatness survives when nothing goes according to plan. From the opening bell, Jalalov looked exactly as expected: measured, tall, flicking the jab, creating distance with subtle footwork. The first rounds belonged to him on paper, but boxing isn't fought on paper, and the problem emerged early. Kadukov wasn't reacting the way men usually do. He didn't flinch. He didn't wait. He stepped forward like gravity itself, pushing into Jalalov's chest, turning clean space into crowded chaos. The rounds were being scored, but something more important was forming. A question. Not about who was winning, but about whether Jalalov could stay comfortable when comfort was taken away. By the third round, the rhythm had shifted. Jalalov was still landing. Sharp 1-2s, straight lefts, clean shots that would have discouraged most heavyweights. Kadukov absorbed them with the indifference of a man who had already accepted pain as part of the contract. He crowded the southpaw stance, leaning his weight, sneaking forearms into ribs, pressing his head under Jalalov's chin. This was not elegant boxing. This was attrition. Kadukov wasn't trying to win rounds. He was trying to erase rhythm. Every time Jalalov tried to pivot out, he found pressure waiting. Every clinch drained a little more energy from a body carrying over 112 kilos. And slowly, almost imperceptibly, the jab lost snap. The movement lost bounce. Commentators began to mention conditioning, activity gaps, the long road from amateur 3-round dominance to professional trench warfare. Then came the moment that changed the tone of the fight. The stumble, the knee, the chaos of round 5. Jalalov went down, not from devastation, but from imbalance, fatigue, and pressure converging at the wrong second. Kadukov struck late, a mistake born from hunger, earning a point deduction. But the damage had already been done in another way. The myth cracked. For the first time in years, Jalalov looked unsure. His body language told a story no scorecard could hide. Open mouth, heavy legs, longer walks back to the corner. The fight was still his, but control was slipping. Kadukov sensed it instantly. Veterans don't need permission to believe. They recognize weakness when it surfaces. From that moment on, Kadukov fought like a man who smelled blood, even if the rounds were slipping away. Rounds 6 and 7 felt less like boxing and more like interrogation. Kadukov asked questions with every step forward. Can you hold me off? Can you fight on the inside? Can you stay composed when technique stops being enough? Jalalov answered some. Movement returned in flashes. Jabs flickered back into existence, but the answers weren't complete. The physical mismatch now looked inverted on the inside. Kadukov, shorter and stockier, bullied the clinch, shoved Jalalov backward, forced him to initiate holds. This wasn't supposed to happen. Heavyweight greatness is built not just on skill, but on presence, the sense that a man occupies space by force of will. Here, that presence belonged to the veteran. Jalalov was still winning rounds, but he was losing authority, and boxing at the highest level doesn't forgive that imbalance. Fighters watching this weren't counting jabs, they were filing information away. They were seeing that Jalalov, for all his achievements, could be dragged into discomfort. That pressure could bend him. That fatigue could change his posture and reactions. Olympic pedigree hadn't prepared him for a man who didn't care about losing pretty. The psychological battle was unfolding in plain sight. Jalalov wasn't collapsing, but he was questioning. The difference matters. Champions survive bad moments. Legends impose themselves through them. This fight lived right on that line, and everyone watching could feel it tightening. Somewhere late in the 7th round, Jalalov found a second wind. Not dominance, but stability. The feet grew lighter. The jab returned with purpose. Space reappeared where suffocation had ruled minutes earlier. Experience, even if limited in the pro ranks, still mattered. Jalalov understood the assignment now. Don't impress, escape. He circled, speared straight shots, used the ring the way heavyweights are supposed to, when power is gone, but survival remains. Kadukov never stopped coming, never stopped trying to wrestle momentum back. But the tide had shifted just enough. This wasn't resurgence, it was damage control, executed well. The 8th round closed with Jalalov landing cleanly again, reminding the judges why the scorecards were always destined to favor him. But even in recovery, something lingered. The body language wasn't triumphant. It was relieved. And relief is not what contenders want to show the rest of a division watching closely. When the final bell rang, Jalalov had his unbeaten record intact. The points were clear. The result was official. Yet the applause carried a strange tone, respect mixed with uncertainty. This hadn't been the statement night many expected. It had been a survival story. Victory is binary. Meaning is not. Jalalov left the ring still undefeated, still decorated, still positioned as part of the heavyweight future. But boxing doesn't move on records alone. It moves on impressions. This fight left a deep one. Vitaly Kadukov didn't win the decision, but he won relevance. He proved that pressure beats polish when resolve refuses to break. More importantly, he exposed a path. Not a guarantee, but a possibility. That Jalalov can be crowded, that he can be pushed backward, that when rhythm disappears, answers don't come automatically. For a heavyweight division hunting its next ruler as the current kings age toward the exits, that knowledge is priceless. Jalalov remains a problem, but no longer an unsolved one. His future will depend on what this fight teaches him, whether he adds physical authority to his finesse, whether he embraces the ugliness that pro boxing demands in the top. This night in St. Petersburg didn't crown a new heavyweight terror. It issued a warning to Jalalov and to everyone else. Talent opens doors, comfort closes them, and the next man who steps into the ring with him won't come looking to survive 8 rounds. He'll come looking to repeat what Kadukov proved is possible.